A Villain in Venice, Jane of the Air, Book 1. A steampunk detective and aviatrix and part-time spy. Available now. All profits to the NHS.
Scanning for audio.
Welcome to another Tin Dog podcast. Again, I've gone for a nice audio approach. So, let's have a quick chat about Torchwood One. Torchwood One, sorry. You know what? The titles from Big Finish have become more and more odd. Let's look at this one. So, if you click on the website, it says Torchwood One. Then underneath it says 5, full stop. Torchwood, Torchwood One, I hate Mondays. You almost expect there to be more colons. In fact, I guess there would be because each story's got its own title. There are 3 of them. So it would be Torchwood, Torchwood One, I hate Mondays, Dinner for Yvonne by James Goss, from a story by James Goss and Joseph Lidster, because there's 3 of them. This is an absolutely cracking box set. I mean, let's face it. I've said this before, and I know I'll say it again. But I think that everyone, at some point in their life, should have a boss like Yvonne. Yes, they might end up dead. No, it's great. Yvonne's always got your back. She also knows her own limitations, and that's something that comes out in this box set, especially in the last story. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Dinner for Yvonne by James Goss, from a story by James Goss and Joseph Lidster. I've already said that. A cloud of psychic plasma is sweeping over Salisbury Plain towards London. Unfortunately, it's Yvonne's night off, and she's throwing a dinner party. London will perish before she can serve the artisanal cheese board. Okay, it's kind of a comedy episode. It's the most light-hearted of the 3. Yes, you could argue and say that it's a bit of a farce. There's a lot of people coming in and out of doors, which works well on audio. You see, I'm trying to remember the Abigail's Party. That's it. I'm trying to remember the name of Abigail's Party, where you've got a sort of lovely suburban event. Do you like Demis Ruth? Oh, I like Demis Ruth. That one, except, of course, in the original stage play, it's Elvis. Right, I'm getting off track. Basically, you see, to describe it as a farce is to sell it short. It's incredibly well structured. What they've done is they've come together with a great plot, but they've made it look easy. No, seriously, it doesn't look like a complicated thing. But the denouement, the build-up and the actual way that everything is solved and the world is saved is remarkably clever. There are people at this party who are awful. I mean, truly the worst people. And Yvonne really could do with a conservatory so that she could expand her tiny, tiny cottage and make it bigger. It just rocks. Yvonne is the most human you will ever see her, apart from the last ever story, which they've already recorded, the one with her mother in it, which is brilliant. You really should track that one down. But the terrible, terrible people who are invited to this party just make things worse. And there's one guy doing a voice, and I wish I had it written down in front of me, who's playing one of the dinner guests. Now, if ever Big Finish do a Garth Marenghi's Dark Place, they could absolutely do it with him playing Garth Marenghi. The voice is great. Obviously, it would be a recast because, you know, Matt is available, but let's not go down that road. The psychic plasma does feel a little bit like a MacGuffin in order to get things moving on. But the fact that you've got Ianto and, well, you've got all of the other characters turning up. Tommy knowing about wines is straight out of that old movie where, oh my God, do you know those days where you just can't remember Peter Lorre's names? Peter Lorre is a drink expert, but he's an alcoholic, and they're comparing, and he knows more than Vincent Price. And it's not theatre, but it's... Oh, I know you know. Yes, you do know, but you can't tell me because this is obviously recorded in your past at some point. Look, it's brilliant. The second one, by royal appointment, is remarkably clever. Look, let's look at the synopsis. Poppy Greenleaf finds herself appointed the Crown's royal liaison for Torchwood. What is Torchwood? Who is Yvonne Hartman? Why is the world ending? Poppy finds herself lost in a world of alien invasions, international espionage and intergalactic diplomacy. This is where you get to see Yvonne at her absolute most ruthless, using absolutely everyone. And, right, okay, so have you ever been to York? You know, York and the... Well, people say the north of England. As far as I'm concerned, it's the south. But in the north of England... Well, anyway, there's a place in York, near the river, called the Merchant Adventurers Hall, which is perhaps the most steampunk of names. And this is a real place. So the Merchant Adventurers, are they pirates? Well, we'll get back to you. There's the equivalent in London of this, and they've been fighting aliens for hundreds and hundreds of years. This has never been mentioned in Doctor Who at any point. It's obviously been invented for this storyline. And do you know what? I need a Doctor Who story with these people in it. They will rock. If it doesn't already exist, please go away and write this. I need a historical with this guild in it. It'll be brilliant. And they're just one aspect of this story, a throwaway moment. But it will be superb. A predecessor to Torchwood. Excellent. And yes, they've got even less moral ambiguity going on. Okay, so you've also got that, but you've got this royal appointment visitor. And she is admittedly out of her depth, but she has skills, and that is what Yvonne uses. That's what her strength is, to take people's abilities and make them work for good of Queen and country at this point. Finally, we've got Nerves by Joseph Lidster. This one's clever. Another Monday morning, another mission for Torchwood. Ianto and Tommy have to transport a canister of deadly Euphorian nerve gas to an underground bunker in the South Downs. It should be an easy, straightforward job, but other forces are gathering. Yes, you know that anyone on a road trip in a narrative of any sort is going to have an accident of some sort. That's fairly obvious. What happens, the character development, and of course you've got a major piece of character development that runs all the way through these stories and affects one of the monthly range, which is Disco, brilliantly. You've got the before, and with Disco you've got the during, and then you've got the immediate afterwards. It's just incredibly well structured. And I've said that so many times, I do apologise. I'm no reviewer. What I'm doing is I'm saying I love this. I love these box sets. So this is very dark. Now obviously what you've got is the constraints of audio, where you've just got a very small cast in each of the stories. But you know what? This works. It's a road trip. It's a road trip that goes quite badly wrong. Ianto and Tommy work so well together. And you know what? I'll be sorry when this range ends. But obviously you're working with a very specific period of time. Ianto's still alive. Yvonne's still alive. We never do find out what happens to Tommy. I do hope he survives everything and is possibly on holiday during the battle for Canary Wharf. He could turn up in the new range. Now that I'd like. Right, here's the trailer. Decide for yourself as always. Until next time, be seeing you.
In 1879, Queen Victoria was bitten by a werewolf. So she got a group of lads together to fight aliens. We're Torchwood, and this is another fine mess we've gotten ourselves into.
From Big Finish Productions, Torchwood One, I Hate Mondays.
Can't you feel it in the air? Something bad's coming.
It's Monday morning, a new beginning.
You're the monsters! You hear me? You're the monsters!
Yeah, sorry.
The world may be ending.
Mind-controlling plasma may be ravaging Wiltshire, but I have guests coming for dinner. No Torchwood, no aliens, 4 courses and a cheese board.
We have to get rid of the nerve gas.
So, nobody's coming to help us?
Oh, we can't let civvies anywhere near what's in the van. Cracking start to the week, eh?
Your son screams and shall be plucked from the sky. Let the dimension of light manifest.
Big Finish, for the love of stories.
Do you want the bad news or the worst news? It's about your army cordon.
Have they failed to contain the xylophone?
They've succumbed to it.
Great! We're now dealing with a telepathic leech with the combined brain power of Salisbury. And the worst news?
It's about your soufflés.
That was the Tin Dog Podcast. Everything discussed is the intellectual property of others. No infringement is intended. For early access to reviews, follow the show on YouTube or Twitter @Tin Dog Podcast. To contact the show, email tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.